This is The Gist, the essential podcast for the discerning listener.
Welcome to The Gist. It is Friday, August the 7th, 2026, and we're broadcasting from right here in Germany. I'm John.
And I'm Mary. We are here to give you the news you need without the jargon you don't. We are your smart friend on the go. Let's get right into it.
First up, let's talk about Meta and a very hefty legal bill. A judge in New Mexico just ordered the parent company of Facebook and Instagram to pay $567 million.
The charge? Funding a youth mental health crisis. But the real story here is exactly how the state won this money. They used public nuisance laws.
Right. Usually, you see public nuisance laws used against polluting factories. Now, state courts are applying them to digital platforms. They are essentially saying that social media algorithms are a new kind of environmental hazard.
And here is the core insight. Who benefits? Local governments do. Of that 567 million, 420 million goes straight into state treatment programs. It does not go back to the teenagers or the families who were harmed.
It is a backdoor tax. Federal lawmakers move slowly, so state courts are stepping in to act as ad hoc tech regulators.
Exactly. It reminds us of the massive 1998 tobacco settlements. States used public nuisance threats back then to extract billions. But that money largely plugged state budget holes instead of compensating victims.
Meta's own internal research showed their algorithms hurt teenagers. They optimised for engagement anyway. Now, local governments have a massive financial incentive to treat tech treasuries like an ATM to cover their own municipal health deficits.
Turning to the global overview, let's start with a major shake-up in the artificial intelligence world. Alphabet, Google's parent company, saw its stock drop 4% this week.
The Financial Times reports that Google's newest artificial intelligence model, Gemini 3, is delayed, and their leadership is suddenly reshuffling. Demis Hassabis is stepping down as CEO of Google DeepMind to become chief scientist. Plus, veteran engineer Jeff Dean is leaving to start his own company. It is a classic power shift. The big players are struggling to maintain momentum, and top talent is breaking off to secure their own funding and equity. Speaking of struggling momentum, look at Honeywell Aerospace. Their stock plummeted 23% yesterday. They just cut their sales growth forecast for the year down to a sluggish 4 or 5%.
Why the drop? Supply chain bottlenecks. They simply do not have enough parts, so they have to prioritise deliveries to what are called OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. These are the companies that use Honeywell's goods as components to build larger equipment.
But prioritising those big manufacturing contracts means Honeywell loses out on highly profitable aftermarket sales. Those are the spare parts they sell directly for repairs and maintenance. Resource flow dictates they must keep the primary builders happy, even if it eats their profit margins.
Finally, let's look at global energy. Oil prices are climbing and global bond yields are moving higher.
Bloomberg reports that negotiations to secure the Strait of Hormuz have failed. Tehran is preparing to actively block United States and Israeli ships in the region following recent maritime attacks.
This strait is a massive choke point for global oil. When you control the strait, you control a huge flow of global resources. When that flow is threatened, the price of everything tied to oil goes up immediately.
Now, let's bring it home with the European perspective. Here in Germany, we had a very close call this week at the Leipzig Halle Airport.
A drone carrying 800 grams of Semtex was found and defused. Semtex is a highly potent plastic explosive used in commercial and military blasts.
The target was a Ukrainian Antonov transport jet. Targeting this specific aircraft strongly points to Russian hybrid warfare. It is moving from digital sabotage to physical, kinetic attacks.
German Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt called it a new quality of danger, but attributing this directly to Moscow is tricky. If Germany publicly blames Russia for an attack on its soil, it risks a major diplomatic escalation.
So leaders walk a tightrope. They know who benefits from disrupting Ukrainian logistics, but calling it a direct act of war changes the rules for everyone.
In the shadow of these threats, European defence is booming. German defence contractor Rheinmetall just reported a massive order backlog.
ZDF reports their backlog is nearly 6 times their expected annual sales. That means European nations are pouring incredible resources into rapid militarization. It is putting an immediate strain on European industrial capacity.
Let's shift gears to academia. The CEPR, that is the Centre for Economic Policy Research, a major network of European economists, just released some fascinating data.
They tracked where elite United States economics PhDs are getting jobs. Since 2010, there has been a huge migration out of universities and into the tech sector.
The incentives are incredibly clear. Tech companies have the capital and the massive data sets these economists want. The academic world just cannot compete with those resources.
The data also showed a disturbing trend. East Asian candidates face a substantial penalty when trying to land top academic positions. It is a stark reminder of how institutional biases shape who gets access to top-tier research jobs.
Closing out Europe, former Belgian Prime Minister Guy Verhofstadt has a new book called Defeating Trumpism.
He is pitching a new political paradigm called citizenism. It is his proposed strategy to counter the populist factions that are spreading across liberal democracies.
So, what's the temperature today? Across the board, we are seeing a great institutional squeeze. State governments are squeezing big tech to fund local health, supply chains are squeezing aerospace profits, and the tech sector is squeezing academia for top talent.
Meanwhile, geopolitical bottlenecks, whether it's an explosive drone on a German runway or a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, are keeping global markets on absolute edge. Click the link in our show notes to subscribe to our daily newsletter for free. Let us be your smart friend on the go every single day. Thanks for listening.
The Gist, News Digest, and podcast are entirely written and produced by artificial intelligence. The Gist is out 3 times a day, every day, providing you with a liberal perspective on what to expect next. For more information and donations, visit thegist.online. Thank you for listening.